Hi guys. Welcome to MCL True Story. Before we dive into today's story, I want you guys to click the like button, share and comment on this video. It helps us in making more True Stories videos for you guys. Here we go. Our story today is my wife had an affair, blames me, wants divorce with no reconciliation. I'm shattered. Okay, if you got a second to read, here we go. Married 9 years, dating for 11, with 7 and 4-year-old healthy, wonderful children. We've always kind of bickered because we are both alpha personalities, but things got pretty rough during early COVID. I've been the primary/sole breadwinner for the entirety of our marriage, though my wife has mostly always worked, except for a year or so after each of the kids' birth. I've always known my wife was not a stay-at-home type of gal, and it's something I love about her. She's a super charismatic hustler. I'm a successful traveling salesman, on the road roughly 3 to 4 days a week, every other week, pre-COVID. So COVID hits, and it was tough for me. My work-life balance inverted. I had to take on significantly more parenting, which I was unprepared for. We'd never spent 700 days in a row together before. During this time there were 3 events which caused some knockdown drag-out arguments, nothing physical/violent, just arguments/yelling. One we got a puppy. At the time we had a 2 years old and 5 years old, upon which I expressed I wasn't particularly in favor, and 48 hours later we had a puppy, aka third kid. The biggest fight was she took a job that I, full disclosure, did not support. I had supported all the others. My wife had 5 different jobs in 2.5 years, all of which she left BC. She quit. Then she took a job that was going to require her to be in an office, in person, 8:30 to 4:30 5 days a week. The office was 45 minutes from home. It would require us to put both children in before and after school care 5 days a week, hire a dog walker 2 to 3 times per day. Also, she could do the same job as a previous one, literally same title, same role, at a slightly more prestigious place. Including the cost of all the extra child care and dog stuff, for zero, if not negative money. And the one I'm incidentally most remorseful about, is she accidentally drunk texted me a sweet message meant for her college ex-boyfriend. I accused her, wrongly, of having an emotional affair. The guy is a good dude, and I've hung out with him a bunch since then, and realized he's just a guy who's friends with girls more than guys. I have since doubled down on the apology and told her to feel free to text, call and hang with him whenever. We got into some pretty gnarly shouting matches around all of these, and we both, particularly me, ended up apologizing to one another. Since then, roughly early 2021, I have done a tremendous amount of self-work, including weekly therapy, and have realized, hey, if the worst thing in the world is having a puppy, having my wife take a dumb job for negative money, thankfully we can afford it, then what am I so upset about? Ironically, the job flopped in 3 months because the boss was awful, not because of the issues. Let's read the comments and see what other user says. Comment. People Tech Confusion 1 says. So let me get this straight. She's drunk texting an ex-boyfriend sweet messages and you are the one apologizing? My man, you're doing something called the pick me dance. You need to man up and stop that shit if you want one to reconcile. And for the record, no one goes and spends 2 days at another man's apartment and doesn't sleep with them. You've got some decisions to make here. Roto2SDO says. This. The very moment you apologized, you lost your frame, and so did the attraction. Stan00 says. Yeah, I saw that too. He's not an alpha if he doesn't mate guard his wife and tell her to stop orbiting male friend. Needs to listen to Rich Cooper and read his book. Dude's not alpha at all. And yeah, the real men don't let their wives go on girls' trips. Nothing good happens on these trips. And yup, she cheated. Take back what says. Hope you're well. He'd be good to read many of your posts. Only after he gets the eject in motion. Quietly. Rich Copper has a gift too, love his stuff. Probably heard about him from you. What a moniker 1 says. All of this, dude. It's time to unplug from the blue pill matrix and see the reality. Saul, Brewster. Op says. I hear ya. Full disclosure, not saying I believed her, but as much as it stings, helpful to hear the confirmation. Take back what? You had her first. Multiple presidents ago. Thursday_the_20th says. To expand upon this guy, another lesson I've learned in life is that whenever someone tells you something from the heart, like an opinion of you as a person, always believe the first thing they say, and that goes triple when they're drunk. Backpedaling afterwards is just that, it's damage control when they realize showing their full hand was unwise. Even if it is the case that they were saying something just out of spite, they didn't pull that ammo out of thin air, it's how they truly feel. When people do this, they'll consider it a blessing. It's very empowering to know these things even at the cost of your self-esteem. Henry's agent says, your wife had an emotional affair with an ex-boyfriend, then planned a physical affair with another guy. 2 affairs that you know of. Your wife has made 2 things perfectly clear. She does not respect you. She doesn't care if the kids get hurt so long as her vajayjay dingles get satisfied. She is not your wife anymore. She is not your friend anymore. All she is now is your opponent in an expensive lawsuit and custody battle. Only an enemy of you and your kids would harm your family like your soon-to-be ex-wife has done. How do you treat enemies of your children's best interests? You treat them with ruthless efficiency. First, kick her out. Take her shit to her parents' house, her boyfriend's house, or just put her shit in the street. Your home and your bedroom are for your devoted wife and your children's loving mother, and not for the whore she has become. Second, separate all funds and credit cards. Remove her from your life insurance policies. Pick someone else as emergency contact if you are injured. Change your passwords on everything. My Exisahor 2022. Or something else memorable. Third, go get the most ruthless shark of a divorce attorney in your area you can find. They must specialize in divorce and disembowelment of their opponents. Your STBXW is dead and this soulless whore has taken her place, but you are in luck. She is so deep in the affair fog she will probably agree to full custody in exchange for no child support. My cheating ex agreed to that and the kids still hate her for it. To the kids it looks like their mother traded them away for new dick and a few $100 a month. Your STBXW has already traded her children's loving and stable 2-parent for side dick, so she will probably go all the way so she can ride off with her new smoochy poo. Get mad. Some selfish whore killed your wife and your children's mother and replaced her with a selfish whore. The surest cure for what is ailing you is action. Take action right now. A new and better life awaits for you and your kids if you take my advice. Or, do nothing, wallow in self-pity, and watch helplessly as your kids call another man daddy. Your choice. Aromatic_boot 3629 says. This reply is the one that matters. Take heed and listen well. She spent 2 days at a dude's apartment and you let her back in the house. Fucking insane. Where's your self-respect? She says she didn't sleep with him? Bullshit. Trickle truth, my man. First is she didn't sleep with him, then it will be we kissed, then it will be I gave him a blowjob. You get the idea. Ritterford says. How do you treat enemies of your children's best interests? You treat them with ruthless efficiency. Best line I've read on this sub in a while. Henry's agent says. Thank you. Sadly, it comes from personal experience. Physics henchman says. Adults don't hang out in an apartment for 2 days playing patty cakes. This looks to be an exit affair. Take advantage of the affair fog and move quickly. Go see a few divorce lawyers and move forward. It will never go back to what it was. To completely rebuild, which would be from below ground up, would take enormous amount of work from both of you. If she is unwilling, it's not happening. Read, or listen to, Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. Dad's starting over and now what is also a good start. You are not a unicorn. I gave my ex 3 chances after discovering her affair. All it did was make everything so much worse for me now. I literally wasted 3 years trying to make it right. Supposedly it eventually gets better, but life is hell right now. I would have been much better off to cut it off right when I knew. And if you ask children, no. It was not better for them to be with both parents longer. In fact, I think it did much more harm. Feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help any way I can. Saul Brewster. Op says. Thanks. That's what everyone, including her friends, tell me. As much as it stings, I imagine you're right. Noho 2.0 says. Imagine? Snap out of it, man. For your own sake. Take back what? Stop sharing any friends. Don't make a scene. Anyone not trying to drive you to lawyer offices on this dear Sunday have long since chosen a side and secretly laugh at you. If you're like me, the last 2 to 3 Thanksgivings at your house were actually fraternity meetings of your main enemies. No regrets but full head extraction from them all. Men included. I guarantee some of your blood family never call you again in life once dust settles. Stan OO says. Hold on. Doesn't pay a bill in 10 years and racks up $50K in credit per year. WTF dude, you're not financially compatible and she's a leech. I'd ditch her for that. She's not financially responsible and has a spending problem, just as bad as a drinking/drug problem. Not a good example for kids at all. Saul, Brewster. Op says. Amen. Captain Chip6 says. You went down the keep trying road and let her off the hook for all her BS. She lost total respect for you. By the way, she absolutely lied her ass off to you and had been sleeping around. You need to see clearly. When you thought something was going on, it was just wrong, guy. The little voice is never wrong, man. So time to get angry and say fuck it. Go full steam ahead on divorce, no mercy. No favors, no help. You live for your kids and be the protector. She is the threat to your children now. Saul, Brewster. Op says. Yup. Thanks. Abject Mango says. So easy to armchair this and say F her. The reality is we didn't simply stumble upon this subreddit, we are there in some form or fashion with you. At the end of the day, we are giving you the correct advice that is easy to give, but takes steel-clad resolve to follow. I am going to tell you the same truth that applies to most of us: it will not get better, and you need to take steps to improve your life and the life of your kids. I'm sorry, brother, but it simply will not improve and you can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. I'm pulling for you. Saul, Brewster. Op says. Amen. Take back what? Disagree. Shutting your narc/vain/selfish/ever scrolling/ever comparing/extortionist/born again slutbag g-dutiful girl that used to actually F you of a partner is the single biggest improvement I've ever made. CB33 Ice GMC says. Edited. Sorry to hear your story, brother, but unfortunately it isn't too unique. Decent guy, works hard, kids, blindsided with the I'm not happy routine 7 to 10 years in. Copy pasta at this point. Don't procrastinate, don't reconcile, and get this chapter of your life behind you ASAP. The woman you are dealing with is not the gal you married. Your kids will be fine. Good luck. Apprehensive Cost 496 says. Good God, this post is dead on for me. Copy pasta indeed. Eject top. Protomize. Jesus Christ. I thought my ex was bad. Upvoters for Truth says. It's over. Thanks again, COVID pressure cooker. Take back what says. The term of the year we all deserve. A true Dom Draper of our time. And boy was it scorin'. 023 says. She calls you a narcissist to help create the narrative that you are at fault for the divorce. I think 95% of women divorcing do this. I hear that all the time. You are being pathetic in allowing your wife to have a guy friend she drunk texts and you need to man up. Tell that guy he needs to block your wife's number, and if you find out they are communicating he's gonna be regretting it. If you are crazy enough to not just kick this bitch straight to the curb, understandable when this negatively affects your 2 kids, then go look at the Married Red Pill subreddit and build some attraction so she will desire and want to fuck you again instead of other people. Unfortunately, you sound like me about 2 years ago. But your story is a common one. Good luck. Oh, and go lift weights. That is the best thing you can do for yourself right now and in the future. Go lift weights. Gatsama says. Hey man, sorry you are going through all this drama and BS. Forget the alpha, beta stuff. Nearly every guy here was simping hard during the marriage. I know I was. Because we bought into the fantasy that it was our job to take care of, provide for and make another adult human happy. Happy wife is pure BS. The dog, which it sounds like she got without your permission or approval, is another example that she doesn't respect you and does what she wants. And then taking a job where she can't care for the dog, same again. Working but not paying bills because what I make is mine and what he makes is ours. Again, disrespect. Respect isn't listening and obeying, it's consideration and accepting that there are 2 people involved in the decision. Ultimately, this is partly our fault because we train and allow these women to act this way. We train them that unacceptable behavior will be tolerated and rewarded. So what do you expect? It's like feeding a dog from the table. If you keep saying, no, but keep feeding him, the dog is going to keep coming to the table and begging. And why not? He's rewarded for the action you claim you don't want. At some point the lack of respect causes many women to lose interest in their husband and cheat. As another poster said, she cares more about her tingles and self-pleasure than you, the kids or the family. From your own post, every time things don't work out, there are no consequences because you step in to save her, so why not switch jobs, why not get the dog, why not run up credit, why not fuck this guy on the side, why not leave the kids in daycare, etc. You are shattered because you think your role is to be a husband, father, provider and general walking ATM plus support system. This is a role that you choose. But you can choose a different role, path too. Release and let go. You aren't losing a wife, you are getting rid of a user that doesn't love you, care for you, or respect you. And it sucks, because you thought she was something more and something different. But she's not. Raging Redder says. Middle dot. The beta male comments aren't helping. That being said, are you seriously apologizing for the fact that she's drunk texting her ex-boyfriend? If you were drunk texting your ex-girlfriend sweet messages, how would have that played out? Calling her out on her shit for texting the ex was one of main things you did right. I'm sorry this is happening to you. She started seeing you as her little plaything that she could take for granted. Put that soft side away and put your own interests first 100% of the time as you tackle this new challenge. One cobbler says. I now do 50% of the housework, 50 to 75% of the parenting and pay 100% of the bills. Side note, she has never paid a bill in 10 years, and puts at least $50K/year on the credit card in pure discretionary spending. This resonated with me. I've been there, and I can tell you that getting out of this relationship will be the best thing that ever happened to you. She's clearly a narcissist, and when you have distance from her you'll realize that too. We do this thing where we put our wives on pedestals and they abuse the shit out of it. You'd probably find, and I don't say this to put you down, it's just a fact I learned about women after my marriage failed, that if you cut the credit card up and told her to shape up or ship out, she would have respected you more for it, or left. Either of which is a win. Thrown away 41422 says. No advice here, but just wanted to say you're not alone and a lot of us have been through similar stuff. Stay strong and KI, we've got your back. Saul Brewster. Op says. Amen. Take back what says. Many of us happy to share phone numbers, myself included. Crowdsourced red pilling. Take back what says. Yes. This post really rallied the troops. Interesting to see. This was a more light-hearted subreddit. I'd offer that we all are up in. This is my tribe now. Didn't choose it, it chose me. Love and laughs to all. May the truth you deserve flow freely with nary a trickle. Don't let us down, op. Release mad watermelon. Samco02001 says. Just think about it, the woman that you're paying everything for her and mother of your children is out there sucking another man's dick, and come home to give you a kiss with no shame. I'm sorry I'm making it a little vulgar, but that's what's happening now. She's no longer respecting you as a man nor husband, and why do you want to keep a toxic person like that in your life? Get a lawyer quick and try to minimize your financial damage. You should use her old pay wages to calculate child support, etc. I hope you don't have to pay alimony, though. Best of luck, my internet friend. Rumorlock says. Welcome to the club we never wanted to join. Trier/serving infidelity as well. Bobber Zahir says. What a nerve blaming you. It is mad making, right? My wife literally blames me for everything including accidents. Over it. Small_quarter_3673 says. Forget about alpha or beta, just focus on the solution moving for yourself and your kids. If you decide to divorce, don't just file to show her, make sure that you make some moves beforehand and then file. If you are handling all the bills now, it will work against you in court. Take time and try to see what's the best for you now and what the future looks like with or without your wife. Know that everything there she says, it's mostly a lie. Take back what says. Top post when sorted by hot. He is us. We're him. She is for the streets. That potential 5684 says. Or ugly. Someone needs to tell this. You had it coming for a long time and ignored all the red flags. Doubled down with needy beta ATM behavior. You have no boundaries and reward your wife's terrible behavior. You've been most likely cheated for a long time, yet you want to save your marriage. She's disgusted that you haven't left her yet and put up with her ever-increasing shitting on you. You pretty much deserved it. Apologies for the tone, but you need to wake up. Wartime, Dad says. What a horrible person she has become. Prepare yourself for a high-conflict divorce. She has zero respect for you. She is your enemy in the legal battle of your life. I'm sorry. You will get through this difficult time. Take care of yourself. Lift heavy weights. Don't drink too much. Unfortunately, this is a very common theme. She hits 35 and now her life she built isn't enough, ruins it and blames you. Saul Brewster. Op says. Call it 40, but yep, nailed it. Shows she is the architect of her own destruction. Destroying her marriage, her family, her life, her reputation, all in one swoop. Dude, just give her what she wants, a divorce, and tell everybody the truth. If you can get any evidence from her phone and such, do it and show to everybody so she cannot wiggle out. Apprehensive cost $4.96 says. 36 for my STBXW and around that for most of her girlfriends. WTF is with that age and women? Ornery Effect 8852 says. Affairs, divorce threats. Next up, she files a TRO for make-believe abuse and gets you thrown out on the street. Get a lawyer now. And recognize you are experiencing the first stages of grief, denial and bargaining typical of the blue pill majority. Most men deny there's a problem, accept femmes speak for truth, defend their cupcake/cunt cake feral bitch and march off willingly into the maw of the femme-beast family courts. Or reconcile, surrender what little pride they have left, they try to bargain with the skank and dance to their tune. Remove the blinders for your sake and more importantly your kids. Evidence, PLZ says. You are a beta male. Saul, Brewster. Op says. So I'm learning. RX, Rob says. So bad bro you need major therapy and not date for a while. NoHo 2.0 says. As many of us also went through. Remember, there is no shame in healing. Cheese 2012 says. That's useful, thumbs up. Take back 1. You have to be kinder to yourself. I felt that at many points of your well-written share. To do so will result in you settling for way less bullshit in what I sense may be all your key relationships. Much love. Don't let corrective advice received here make you lose sight of how good it was to vent and just talk it out. No copay, no sly justification of you being on board with hurtful bullshit, gaslight shit. That guy friend is the worst kind of bottom-feeding coward, irrespective of any physical affair. I can't say more without upsetting myself more. Take back 1. Slowest drug pull known to man. Why do you add details like she's crushing the new job? It's as if she's re-engineered you to add a glowing and innocent detail about her every 150 words. You, like most of us here, would prefer to stay together forever. She, like most of the counterparties here, is convinced she has one more good playoff run in her. Think Tom Brady. The boys are back in town, but it's her and the girls. Once you accept that and move prudently and promptly as suggested here by others, you will see you are fine. You'll inevitably do your own tour, age and rustiness be damned. You're Mick Jagger. Start me, you, up. Much peace and laughter to you, friend. J1 Mefever says. Don't ever sexually/intimately touch her again. There is legal precedence that you would/could be accepting of the affair and reconciling and won't be able to use it in court. Renee 9485 says. This post and its replies are, fire. Get it top. Not everyone on here knows it all, but there's a lot of common themes here. Listen up and giddy up. Best of luck to you and don't be a stranger, you'll need the support. Player no more. The best advice you can get is to divorce before your marriage gets to 10 years. Marriage is based on love and trust. Divorce is a financial transaction based on formulas. Check your jurisdiction to figure out how the law will affect your divorce. Normally, 5 years is cheaper than 10, and 10 is cheaper than 20. If you are in the in-between, it is cheaper to stay there. She made her decision, and women rarely change their minds on divorce. You have a small window to protect yourself. Smart men survive divorce. Emotional men lets divorce set them up to fail for the rest of their lives. You not being able to move on from divorce is justification for all the horrible decisions she is making. Don't give her the ability to say I was right to divorce you. I found a real man. The man she cheated on you with is like you or worse than you. If she could have done better than you, she would not have married you. Working hard to make your family's life better rarely makes a man weaker. Edit, I hate to tell you this, but she is the alpha in your house. No alpha man would put up with her bullshit, nor would he be concerned with his ability to survive divorce. She has given you just enough say for you to provide the lifestyle she is accustomed to. You want to seem like an alpha male, learn into the divorce. Have your lawyer make sure she gets the bare minimum and only pay what the court says. Live your best life after. Apprehensive cost $4.96 says. Don't give her the ability to say I was right to divorce you. I found a real man. The man she cheated on you with is like you or worse than you. If she could have done better than you, she would not have married you. Working hard to make your family's life better rarely makes a man weaker. This right here op. Yay, it stings and you want to be a good father/husband/provider, but she broke the contract, man, and doesn't think you have the stones to yeet her out. I played the dance too for a couple days, but I made the tough decision to seek out a lawyer, get the ball rolling, and I threw down on my STBXW one evening when she had zero remorse for lying/cheating/ etc. Let AP have her, pay her bills, wine and dine her. What does he get? ISH1T, cheating woman that will eventually cheat on him, and you get a fresh start and the ability to date lots of other women with no recourse. Loftable dude says, there's not mutual respect, bro. With respect there's no relationship. I could have literally written your post. It's pretty identical to my situation. I left, I'm still gutted, but it was the right move. I'm not sure where I read it, but it was something along the lines of, she will respect men, but not you, no matter what you do, don't waste any more time. Zadman1 says, yo, 5 jobs in 2.5 years within the newest job for only 3 months. It sounded like she has borderline disorder. Drinking and bad money management are also symptoms of borderline. FarmD718 says, go to war. Yeldell Media says, bro, listen up. Many of us have been there and speak from experience. Lawyer up yesterday, file for divorce first so that you are the plaintiff instead of the defendant playing catch up. Get a wearable audio recorder to protect you against false domestic violence claims. Enable your golf meter. Don't move out of those houses no matter what, and buckle up. Apprehensive Cost 496 says, hey op, I got all of these same lines. If she loved you, she would have never stepped out of line and talked to you about her problems like couples should. Get a good family law attorney, do your research, drive the train to Splitsville and protect your interests. Let AP get a crappy, cheating liar of a woman who will eventually get tired of her shiny turd and cheat on him for that thrill she is addicted to. There are likely more women out there just dying for a loyal dude and that deserve it, so boot her. Get no less than 50-50 for your kids and be the stable/loving parent. Good luck, dude. Reach out if you need advice. Saul Brewster. Op says, amen. Commander of Cheese 45 says, blames me for an affair. Don't accept that blame. F $# at that $! Plus. She's insane to blame you for it. What would you have done in this situation? Leave a comment below. Click the like button and subscribe, those will help this channel. Come back tomorrow for more stories.